Trinity of truth. The tallest proof. The strange, the weird, the odd, the real. Tom Zames, Divinely Sierra, and Catalyst Jones.
Trinity of truth.
Trinity of truth.
It could honestly be even more than 45 minutes. It's just every time I've gone back and I've kind of glanced, I'm not one of those that is like gonna wait. I have shit to do. And even if he was live, I would only sit and watch him for like 3-4 minutes to see if there was anything clippable that he's talking about that I could talk shit on. We're talking about how Nick Fuentes makes people wait like an hour when he's supposed to start his lives. What's up, y'all?
And that's not what we did to you guys.
Yeah, only 13 minutes for you guys because we are not.
It wasn't on purpose.
I mean, it is kind of fucked up. The thing is we have like all these videos that are still uploading. And then we also have Diva Tom, who just shows up whenever he wants because he thinks that showing up late means showing up in style. And I actually have to agree, because if he was on time, then I'd have a panic attack trying to get these videos uploaded. So thank you.
I think it was the first time I was late.
No.
You lie.
No.
You lie.
Guys, yay.
What is up? I'll tell you guys what is up. So we have had another freaking, it's like we cannot go a single week without there being a major psyop in the fucking headlines. So last week we had David Wilcock in the headlines. And then this week Trump needed a new ballroom and he couldn't get funding for it. So they staged a fucking fake shooting so that they could get a new ballroom with better security and like underground fucking exits and shit. I believe they were approved for $30 million, and that 30? they asked for 30 something million, and they went ahead. And they went ahead. Oh, of course. No, but I don't think it was 33. Maybe it was, but they went ahead and approved it for 40 million because they need to make sure. So that's what that psyop was all about.
400 million.
Got the 30 in there, though. They got that. They always slip those numbers in. It's always the same 10, 15 sets of numbers over and over again.
Over and over. And if you see the number 33,
they like 30 just as much as 33.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, apparently somebody took another shot at Donald Trump. At least that's what the mainstream narrative is that I'm hearing. Is that the mainstream narrative that you guys are hearing? We got some gematria happening here. The shooter's name is Cole Allen. Is that what they're saying? His name was Cole Allen. See, I'm not so sure about that, you guys, because in the first video, I was scrolling through and I found what is obviously the shooter, and it's not the guy that they're showing us. So here, let's just get into the first video.
Okay, so this is fucking crazy, guys. I was scrolling through, and I don't know if this is like a new angle or what, but you can clearly see who the shooter was. Check this shit out.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times!
This correspondence dinner is horseshit.
Clearly, right? So the first time my sister got married, she said, I was fully expecting you to say this dinner is horseshit, and I didn't. And then the second time she got married, they just went to the courtroom, and so I missed my chance. So that's like an inside joke with me and her constantly. And when this whole shit happened, I was just like, wouldn't that be funny if I spliced in Will Ferrell fucking having his... And I did it today, right before we went on. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to make that video real quick or else I forget.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was the perfect clowny
it's equally as ridiculous as the truth, it's all equally as silly and goofy, even if it wasn't, a Will Ferrell comedy sketch, it still very much looked like an SNL comedy skit. It's just all so nuts and silly.
Oh man, Sierra, you're so right. Like the guy that they have as the shooter, I could definitely see that being a Saturday Night Live character without even having to try. Like they probably just grabbed somebody outside of the Saturday Night Live studios and was like, "Hey, you want to pretend to be an IDF soldier and let us blame you for attempting to shoot Donald Trump? We'll put you in like this crazy ass resort with Epstein and Diddy. It'll be a blast. There's hella baby oil and there's a bunch of food you've never even tried before."
Yeah, the whole thing was just bizarre, so silly. And then, you watch in the aftermath and people are just sitting there eating and stuff. It's like,
But guys are being interviewed and they're like, did you doc? They're like, no, I wanted to see the action.
Dana White.
Yeah, Dana White, the total non-human guy running UFC. He's one of the top guys now. He's meeting with the president. Guys, he's not a human being. Dana White, like you guys, this is all bullshit with these guys. The UFC is gladiator. It is the bread and circus. It's the fucking bread and circus of the bread and circus. It's gladiator. Like
it is 1000% gladiator. But what's crazy is we have so many awakened people that come out of the UFC, like, because they all listen to podcasts and they are all like me. And so Eddie Bravo owns 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, which is all over the country. He has a chain of them all over the place. And these guys are listening to fucking podcasts like this one. Right. And so like I'm talking to a lot of these fighters. Like one of my good friends is a fucking Hall of Fame champion UFC fighter. And so I'm like friends with pissed off UFC fighters that have found out that everything is bullshit. And I'm friends with pissed off ex-military people that went to fight for this country and found out that everything is fucking bullshit. So when shit hits the fan, man, I am fucking insulated.
We have a militia. I did really quick want to say hi to Colton. That you were saying we had gematria in the comments. That's my friend Colton, and he really knows his stuff. And I want to have him on sometime so that he can kind of decode some stuff for us. He, like he was saying, the Cole Allen and everything. Yeah, he's really, really good with that. So I'm stoked to have him here. We need to get him on sometime.
Pick him up. Yeah, pick him up. So what did you guys pick up on this so far? And then I'll lay out the breadcrumbs that I've seen in the little bit of videos depicted I've saw.
Go ahead, Tom.
Regarding the Trump thing?
Yeah. Because there's people, obviously, there's still truthers out there that are freaking ADHD plus autistic plus on Adderall, and they need something to do. So they're picking these videos apart like a motherfucker. And like, God bless all of them. Thank you for those people because they do all of our work for us and it's awesome. But I'm seeing a lot of things and inconsistencies. And I was wondering if you guys picked up on any.
Honestly, I haven't even really watched the video. That's how immune I am from this stuff. And like, I don't even watch the shit anymore. But the clips that I saw, I mean, it was clearly fake. Nobody was phased. I mean, if you were in a room, a dinner with the president of all people, and there's shots fired, dude, you'd be under the fucking table. You just would. Like, these guys talking about how brave they were. There was obviously nothing there. It's just the whole thing. Like, I can't believe I'm talking about the guys saying that they watched it. Like, it's so fake, guys. It's so fake. But of course, they produced a shooter, right? They produced a shooter, and there was no shots. There was no bullet. There was no shooter, but it's all fake. But the picture they showed us, and I got this from shout out Ball Don't Lie, my boy AJ, and shout out Truth Codes Rambo. They let me on their show last night for a conversation. It was great show that they have. I got to plug it real quick every Tuesday night. but they're gematria guys, and they're
Where
really
can everybody find that show at?
it's on YouTube actually.
And what do they look up?
It's
And
called
we'll have the
Eye to Eye, EYE to I, and we can get these guys on the show as well. But what they pointed out was the picture they're showing everybody is Cole Thomas Allen on the ground kissing basically a black cube. If you look at the pattern in the rug,
Wow.
they're little black cubes, and he's laying down on it. And they got his arms behind his back in the hangman position. Because I don't know if we talked about this, but they've been doing this hangman shit since 2001 when they showed the guy falling from the Twin Towers in the hangman position. So they run this hangman theme. They gave us Patrick Mahomes after the one Super Bowl he won. He laid down on the ground in the hangman. It's if you see it, you'll be like, holy shit. But this is what these guys do. Like, so these rituals, these aren't just psyops. These are rituals. There's symbolism with it.
Don't move on from that. This is I'm not familiar with the hangman thing. So
That's
it's a tarot card.
Yes.
And so it originated them throwing it on our face with 9/11 as somebody jumping out of the building. And then we've progressively seen it here and there throughout, like sprinkled in throughout these events.
Yeah. So that famous like video of someone jumping out of the building, the guy's falling upside down in the hangman position with the knee across. If you look at the tarot card, you'll see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then Novak Djokovic last summer was asked, they were doing like an interview, and they asked him what his secret was. And he said, well, I hang upside down in a tree for 33 seconds. This whole thing. I'm like, oh my God, what? So he's referencing the hangman and the 33. And I'm like, holy shit. This is when I first realized like Novak was in on it too. This was like 2 summers ago. And then I found that video of him shape shifting.
So for the people in the know, that was a head nod to which specific ritual he went and was initiated into. Like, that's a head nod to what his role is going to be for those that are in the know. And that's crazy. Like, I had no idea about this hangman thing. Fucking awesome. I'm gonna ask some of my Freemason buddies about it.
Dude, like these psyops, they pick people with certain birthdays. They always use the mutable cross, which is people in Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and is that the other one? So they intertwine these psyops going to the moon. They take the thing and they penetrate it with the pole, which is like a dick. It's a whole fucking thing. Like, these aren't just, it's all bullshit, but it's not only is it to mislead us, but they are doing a whole other fucking symbolic ritual with this thing that is getting totally lost by most people. I didn't realize this stuff until I met these guys and started seeing this shit. It is crazy. And this shit is all like laid out from decades in advance and precise.
Yeah. So one of my initiations into the truth was through music and being heavily involved in the music industry and the symbols that were placed. And a lot of times, through my awakening, I'm like, oh, that motherfucker's super satanic. But a lot of times these artists aren't aware of what's happening as far as the art that's getting depicted, why they're doing what they're doing, and especially in their music videos. Like, to listen to Kesha describe her music video Die Young, and listen to the director describe the music video Die Young, totally different fucking things. And the director is way more close on point to what a conspiracy enthusiast like myself would depict from it. And it's through all of these. And I'm not saying that they're innocent and these artists don't know what's going on and they're not eventually tapped and pulled into these things, if not already groomed from the beginning, like at a young age, before they even hit a fucking camera, before we even see them. But to rewind, pull this back to this false flag at this dinner party. I'm not even sure if there was a fucking dinner party. There might have just been a fucking photo opportunity that took place, because one of the videos I see where everybody's like, dude, this guy just kept eating. And then other people like they depicted this picked this video apart, and they were like, well, it's crazy that his fucking chicken turns into a fork. And so it's like obvious AI. And so everything that we get from these official fucking places, it's almost laughable that I'm able to do better AI shit than the White House official fucking website.
And you got to wonder why, right? Are they want us to see it. They're not afraid of us seeing it. Like they want us to see it. People say, oh, they're getting sloppy with their side. They're not getting sloppy. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing, you know? What do you guys think?
I don't know. We touched on this a little bit last week, is like, why, you know, where is the why? And I'm still sticking to the fact that they want everything to completely crumble and collapse so that we beg for the new system.
The new system's here though. That's the part people aren't getting. The new system is here. Not only is it here, it's been here. So that is warning us, like new world order is coming. It's coming. No, it's not coming. It's here. I mean,
to implement it, right? It's like driving by a new fucking building, like a new mall, and you keep driving by the structure and you see it's like, it's here. The fucking foundation is there. And then all of a sudden the walls go up. Now there's a parking lot. The roof is there. Now you're starting to see signs. We're at the point now where we're driving by at night and there's actually power going to this fucking building and the signs are lit up and they're about to open the doors for business. Clip it.
Yeah. I think that they are getting a little bit sloppy with things, but I think that it's kind of happening maybe at a subconscious level. I think we talked about this a little bit last week as well. I think that there are certain aspects of the darkness that kind of want to be caught, whether it is to, you know, usher in the new systems with new saviors and new characters that they are going to prop up as these, you know, incredible, whether it be an alien, you know, an alien federation that comes in or whatever. But I think that they are getting a little bit sloppy with it. But I also think that, you know, personally, we're seeing a lot of stuff that we hadn't seen before because our consciousness is evolving. I think it's always been a little bit sloppy. It's always been like, they don't care. Like Tom said, they don't care. But I think we are all consciously evolving enough to really be able to see through all of the illusions and see a little bit more past the veil right now. So I don't know if they're intentionally doing it. I was one of those people who was watching the correspondence dinner because I like to watch and see if I can point out non-humans, which I'm pretty sure most of the people in that room were. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm zooming in, and my son looks over. He goes, "What you doing? Looking for lizards?" So, so I'm looking at all these things, and I just noticed all of it. They all look a little uncanny. It's just, there's not really a whole lot of humanity as far as energy goes in those rooms either. So I'm getting to a point where it's like, it's going to just be so obvious to all of us. There's not really anything that I have to share about them being non-human anymore. It's like, just look at that room. Does it feel like a room full of humans and the warmth that a room full of humans would have in it? No, it just all seems very cold, very staged, very AI, very non-human.
Well, I think that the simple answer for that is that there wasn't a room full of anything. It was just they had a certain handful of people show up in the hallway for their pictures and whatnot. Like, I don't even think anybody was actually sitting at that table, Donald Trump alike. Like, I don't think anything was actually happening in that room. That's just my own take. The whole fucking thing. Like, I just don't. And I don't know if it's like, I do like what you said, Sierra, like they're not getting sloppy. We're just collectively noticing and pointing these things out a lot faster. And I agree with that. But I also agree with the fact that they're getting fucking sloppy, because like I just pointed out, like I could do a better AI. If the White House was to hire me and be like, we need to run a Psyop, I know what everybody's going to be looking for. Right. So I'm damn sure not going to publish something where the guy's chicken turns into a fork. And right there, that whole fucking situation is under scrutiny for people that are enthusiasts of picking these things apart. And so, like I said before, and I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but like they want us to see these things. They want us to know how evil they are, and they want us to beg for something that's not quite as evil. And that's when they're going to open the mall for business is what I'm thinking. We're getting a lot of comments in here, and I didn't want to skip over them all, but Tom, I could tell you wanted to say something.
This is my boy Justin, actually, right here, Ether Pliskin. We can have him come on sometime too. I'm just reading all his stuff here.
Yeah, they have to keep the illusion of the divide, but the NWO has been in effect for a long time. And I like what you said there. And that's funny because when I was on Tinfoil Hat, Johnny asked me, well, why is it that these politicians in the Epstein files are talking about their poll rankings and election numbers as if they matter to them if they don't matter? And my answer was like, well, they don't matter because if the illusion fails to exist, then the whole thing falls apart. And he was like, yeah, I understand that, but they were corresponding as if they believed that they needed to win this fucking election. And that's a great question. And my only simple answer to that is like, it's fucking compartmentalized, and not everybody needs to know their part of how the machine works. So if you're telling a politician, hey, you got to get out there and fucking get these people to vote for you, then you're going to get out there and get these people to vote for you, not knowing that they're already going to install you or your running mate.
I think that, well, what seats are we talking about? Like the higher seats, those are all predetermined. It's WWE wrestling, 100%. John McCain knew he wasn't going to win that election. Like you could see it. The other guy, Romney, knew he was not going to win. Like these guys are lemmings. That you know, it's never a strong candidate either. Have you noticed it's one strong and one weak? You ever notice that? It's always like it's never two strong candidates going against each other. It's never Obama versus Trump. It's Obama versus a schlep. It's Trump versus a schlep. You see what I'm saying?
I think the last time it was Kerry, it was two Skull and Bone members. It was Kerry versus Bush. And then before that, we actually did have a true legitimate outsider that almost took it because he was, it was like what Donald Trump should have been, right? It was Ross Perot, and he ended up buying up a bunch of television time and went out there and fucking red pilled the shit out of everybody and probably did win, but they were like, fuck, this guy can't get in. And that was the last time that I think that, and then when the election was going to go to either Skull and Bone member, and they were like, well, fucking give it to the Bush clan.
I think there's, like we talked about last week, I think they have like useful idiots, you know, people like the humans that come contracted into Hollywood. I think about like Ice Spice when we saw her at the Super Bowl and she's doing all of the symbolism and it seemed like she was trying to be recruited, right? It doesn't seem like the most intelligent people are out there trying to be recruited. So they get these people who will be, and those people are the useful idiots who I think they just say, like you were saying, Catalyst, just go out there, be ratchet, you know, make stupid music that the masses will listen to and make them dumb. Just, you know, go be a hoe or whatever the case is, you know. And those people will just go and do it. And they don't have a whole lot of more knowledge about what's going on because, number one, they probably wouldn't be very trustworthy with it. And number two, it just isn't part of their role. They don't need to know those higher levels of things. So they're just the useful idiots, the jesters that will go out, entertain, and that's just kind of what they do. And then they placate them by giving them, you know, these great houses and giving them money and whatever after they've sold their soul to be these characters. But I think, like Tom was saying as well, the higher up you go, they already know what they're doing. They have their script, they have their role, it's been preordained, all of that is already set in stone. So I think there's both.
Yeah, and I think that's also case by case too. If you were to tell me that Kamala Harris is in on anything, I'm telling you, you're full of shit. The only thing that she's in on is the corruption of like Pizzagate type stuff and being involved in fucking putting people away when she was a district attorney and a judge, making sure that fucking good people actually went to jail for fucked up shit that she actually did herself. But as far as like, hey, we're going to put Trump in, she would have been like, the fuck you are. No, she actually legitimately thought she was fucking, she had a shot. And yeah, that's my take. Brad's
I don't know. I don't know at that level if
I
they
disagree
are.
with Kamala here.
I think if she thought that she had a shot and she got wind of anything that proved that there was this level of corruption, then she would blow it for them completely. So I think she's equally up there in the know. But again, like even Kamala, even Trump, they're not the head honchos of this. They're just the faces of the man behind the curtain. So
Yeah, they're powerless.
Well,
Let's
let's go with some of these people, and I know we've touched on this because I said like how we have video of Marina Abramovich in the back of a car, and she's saying how Trump is the greatest thing that happened to them, and that he's the master magician. And we did bring up the tarot cards here a little bit ago, as Tom, you were telling us about the Hangman, and so. This is kind of a longer video, so if either one of you guys get sick of this, go like this and I'll cut it and we can just talk on it. But it is 2 minutes and 55 seconds long, so I doubt we're going to make it all the way through.
Are y'all truly ready for this deep dive? Because it goes back decades. Didn't I just tell you last week that Apollo, Apollyon, Abaddon, Helios, Lucifer was coming back? Through the art she's making, what do you know? They're the same exact being. Hey, you remember when Marina Abramovich came out and said that Donald Trump was the highest ranking warlock in the world, basically? More on that in a second. So of course, posted himself as Jesus. He admitted it himself earlier today, but in the same image, he added something from the last time this was posted, and that was this creature, this thing right here. That's Apollo. Yes, in fact, the same exact deity that's on the arch. Some could call him Helios. Remember, Nero Caesar in the 1st century destroyed all the Christians there was, and he transformed into Apollo himself. He also had a mortal wound to the head by sword. Y'all remember when Trump did not put his hand on the Bible? That was crazy. You know the parable of the goats and the sheep from the Bible, when the goats go to hell and the sheep go to heaven? We had this golden goat made for Trump with golden feet, golden horns. On the dollar bills it says, "In Trump we trust." Y'all think this is the first time he put his name in the place of God? It's not. Of course, he made himself to be the Pope, and this is the second time he posted his image of him being Jesus. The red vesture because it's dipped in blood like Revelation, you know, for Jesus, the Alpha and the Omega. It's also odd because, you know, inversion from the occult, but of course we see the magician wearing red, and that same exact thing that Trump was wearing too. Again, Satan loves inversions. Marina Abramovich said that Trump was putting a spell on the entire world. Read this real quick. If Trump did something to my daughters, I would forgive him because Jesus calls me to forgive. True, but watch this. It'd be the holiest act of love I could ever choose, but I would still politically support him as my president. Yes. Brother, what? After he violated your daughter? Hold on. Now check this out. After he posted himself as Jesus, he posted Trump Tower. The Trump Tower is pretty significant itself on top of the moon. I've been telling y'all for years he's the moon child, was born right under the blood moon. The same one that Aleister Crowley started the rituals, I believe, in the 20s, going to the Babylon working in the 40s. Let me refresh your memory. The moon child will rule by liberty. And by liberty, he will destroy the Black Brotherhood. The Black Brotherhood to these demons is Christianity. He just happens to have the word of peace when they say peace and safety, a strong parallel. He's signing Bibles not just now, but in 2019 as well. This was a real picture published in the Time magazine, which, by the way, people are like, oh, he fell for the AI image. Of course it's an AI image. Who has to friggin' tell you it's an AI image if it's a cartoon? And for some reason, people have been seeing this beast, this Apollo, this Helios, this Abaddon, this Apollyon, this Lucifer, this Lightbringer in their dreams. If you've been watching me the last few years and you're caught up, you know what I'm saying. I've been warning about all this stuff for years. If you're confused, the YT video is about to...
Can I go?
Yeah.
I can't wait. First of all, let's go Pens. I see we got a Pittsburgh person here in the comments. First things first. So, like, what everybody needs to understand is when Marina Abramovich goes and says something like that, that is choreographed. This is how fake all this stuff is. These people are literally told, go into a car, we're going to do a video. Like, this is all a part of it. Trump not putting his hand on the Bible. He is instructed, do not put your hand on the Bible. And it's not because he's paying homage to somebody. That is all fake. None of these people are Jewish. None of these people go to church. None of these people are Christians, Muslim, none of that shit. None of them are none of these things. It is all an act. So, you know, when you see this stuff, Trump, this, like, this is a part of the show. This is how they push people's buttons and they get us to create these side stories to talk about. Oh, did you see Trump didn't put his hand there? Oh, yeah, I know. And I saw he put his hand there. And it's like, it's kind of like the Charlie Kirk thing with the two retards doing sign language, right? It creates stories. They were told to do sign language on purpose so that people would fucking talk about it and be like, oh, those guys are in on it. This is how fake the shit is, guys. Like the Bible, this, Marina Abramovich, all of this is completely choreographed. None of this stuff is organic at all, period.
Yeah. Well, and if these people are, you know, if they're reptilians, then they're also like essentially programmable. So I know you've said this before, Tom, but it's coded into the system, all of these things that they're going to do. So they can just be boop, 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 coded to do all this stuff. And it's just part of the script, just carries it out. So these lower density beings like the reptilians, they're essentially programmable. They will follow the hierarchy and the AI that really is in control of the system.
It's like the wrestling. It's like when they told Randy Macho Man Savage, hey, you're going to go out and you're going to say this about Hulk's mom. And then Hulk, you're going to come out and you're going to, it's just like that. No different about everything. All these things you see, whether it's a congressional hearing or an investigation or a sanction, it is completely scripted and choreographed to the T. None of these people are fucking freeballing. They know their motives and they can work off that. You're going to go out here and you're going to get him for this. You're going to nail him for this. You're going to, it's, yeah. Anyways. All right.
But how much free reign are they allowed? Right. So like when Marina Abramovich hosts the spirit cooking parties, they're legit having parties, right? Or are these people just showing up for a fucking photo and video op?
Both. Maybe
so they have rituals.
Yeah, all, either or.
What about Hunter S. Thompson?
What about him?
Well, he's like, as far as like when I first started learning about the occult, I first started learning about Aleister Crowley, and then through Aleister Crowley, I started studying people that were also writers who studied Crowley, and Hunter S. Thompson was also a writer who studied him. So I studied him as well. And then he came up again when Pizzagate came out and with the whole adrenochrome thing. And then people will tie that into the scene in Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, where, and shout out to Paranoid American who brings this up and who did the most extensive research on adrenochrome I've ever seen anybody do. But in that movie, because we know that they use movies to get people to think a certain way. And that was one of the first breadcrumbs they gave us. And Johnny Depp is in the car and he's talking about these cocktail of drugs that he did. And he's just like, fucked off all these. And he has this little tiny vial. And he was like, but this was 100 times more than any of the other ones. Right. And so like right then, anybody that's like into this kind of shit is like, ooh, what's that? And how do I get it? And so I only bring him up because was he somebody that the CIA let loose, was like, all right, like we freaking molded this person into whatever it is. Let's fucking let him loose and see what he does. I have a video on Hunter S. Thompson. That's why I bring him up. Should I play the video and then we can discuss that? Okay. Yep. I'll answer my own question. Here we go. Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson, the original gonzo journalist, was the shit. And when you find out who he really is, you will find out that he is one of the biggest pieces of shit to have ever lived. And he would pay upwards of $500,000 to cameramen to participate in snuff films with Larry King. Yeah, Larry King Lives, Larry King. Now, he is responsible for really introducing adrenochrome into the pop culture scene, into the Hollywood, upper class, college educated, academic intellectuals. Yeah. Now, in the world of mercenaries, you will encounter lots of men that are just like Hunter S. Thompson, as in they've got a lot of money and they want you to protect them on their hunting safari of their child hunt.
All right. Sorry about that. I thought that was going to be a way better video, and no offense to that creator or anything. It's just I've seen better, and I thought you were going to get a little bit more in depth. I think my introduction was more in depth than the guy's fucking video. So yeah, snuff films. My biggest red flag with see, and here's what sucks, Tom, is like you'll bring up people and you're like, it's all fake, it's all, and everybody, right? But like, I'm friends with people that are friends with these fake people. And so this is where I get hung up, where I'm like fucking tug of warring with, you know, like in my brain, I'm like, well, there's no way that that person could be fake because he knows him. And I'm like, well, does that mean that the person, my friend, is fake? And like, well, hang on a second. Like, I'm not ready for this one yet. So like, let's not go there. Right. But I will bring up, we both know that, or we all know that I'm friends with somebody who's really good friends with Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan is, I go back and forth where I'm like, he allows people on there. And even though he shuts them down and gatekeeps people like a motherfucker, they're still on there planting seeds because he'll let them go off for a little bit before he shuts them down. And so the masses are hearing about topics that they otherwise would not normally hear about, even though he makes people look stupid. And it takes somebody with a little bit more free thinking to go look into these things for themselves. On the other hand, fucking, he had on Bill Murray, and Bill Murray hates Joe Rogan. And he really did not want to go in there and do the podcast, but everybody talked him into it. And so that it would just be in the history books that Bill Murray and Joe Rogan did a podcast together. And Bill Murray opens up with, well, you have that shrine to Hunter S. Thompson in your hall or in your lobby. So I knew you couldn't be a bad guy. And I was just like, what the fuck? That means he is a bad guy. Fuck.
He said you could or couldn't be a bad guy.
He said, so I know you're a decent guy or some shit like that. Like referring to like, you're not all bad. Like we can get along about this because Bill Murray played Hunter S. Thompson before Johnny Depp did, and actually did a fucking great job as well. And it seems like these actors that depict Hunter S. Thompson in their films end up becoming really close with Hunter S. Thompson.
You want to guess here?
I mean, when it comes to Joe Rogan, I just think he's a part of it.
I agree. I mean, he's 100%. He is it. Like he's the number one. Like is he that great? Like I'm just gonna throw that out there. Here's the thing with the seeds. It appears like they're planting seeds, but they're not. Because like if you track down these seeds, you'll find out those seeds are bullshit. Because I used to say that too. I used to say it too. And I was like, oh my God, but why are they telling this? And why are they telling the truth about this? And then as I kind of like went up, then I realized the thing that I thought they were telling the truth about, they weren't fucking telling the truth about either.
All right, well, check this out, Tom. 10 years ago, if people were to find out I was a flat earther, that was 99% of the time, that was the first time they'd even heard of such a fucking thing. Nowadays, when people find out that, well, I just blanket it with flat earther because like it's way so much more complex than that. But the blanket term is flat earther. And so now when people hear that, they're like, that's fucking nuts. You're one of those. It's not like, wait, what? You think what? It's, oh, you're one of those. So it's out there. And that's because he had on Eddie Bravo. And I'm fucking going with that 100% because I was already getting kicked off of YouTube for talking about flat earth before Eddie Bravo was talking about it on Joe Rogan's show. And I think that first off, Google did have a commercial where it said Google flat earth. And then they went to Congress and said, we're going to start implementing shit. And they used flat earth as an example. And I'll be damned if like 2 weeks later, I lost my first account ever. Very first time I ever lost account. And I want to say that was back in 2015. So,
yeah, it's more mainstream, and like people see that there's chemtrails and stuff like that, right? So yeah, there is that, but it's kind of like Sierra's video that she put up today, where it's about false hope being contained, right? So it's truth that's contained. These guys are containing the truth. Joe Rogan's containing the truth. By the way, Joe Rogan went and did the switcheroo. Joe Rogan said that he was a flat earther, and now he's a glober. Like, dude, anybody knows anything knows you don't.
Wait. I would have been all over that. When did he say he was a flat earther? He did do the switcheroo on the globe or the moon landing.
Before he went super mainstream with that deal with the whole.
So he on the moon landing he did, and I even made a video pointing that out because it pissed me off, because he was on video saying 100% there is no fucking way that we went to the moon. And then lo and behold, 3 or 4 years later, he's on video saying 100% we went to the moon. Used 100% in both fucking videos when he said it. And I was like, this fucking cocksucker. And that was back when I was still a Q-tard. And so I still put hope in some of these institutions and these people. Like back then, I believed Tucker Carlson was a rogue fucking actor. I believed that fucking Alex Jones was a real fucking truther. You know, like I believed these things back then. And
I think they do give you truths. Like I do think that there are seeds that they give you, but I think that they give you an opportunity to kind of wake up to it, but then they're also going to lead those truths down like endless rabbit holes, because they want you to stay maintained in the system, constantly thinking that you're finding something out. And so then something's going to be changed, constantly bringing in new people who are giving you more truths. And so you have that hope. Again, it's that hope, because there are people who are going to wake up. There are people who are going to question the narrative. And those people, they need to, give them a little something so they're not digging any further in the correct direction. So they give you little nuggets for sure, I think. But, eventually it's going to fizzle out. It's not going to give you an actual solution. And it's just going to keep giving you different rabbit holes to go down, thinking that you're catching up and you're on track. And then it's just, again, it's going to lead to nowhere unless you're actually doing the work and you're using discernment and you're going within and you're not turning to, external sources and saviors and religions and programs and systems that are, again, just going to keep you in those paradigms and those constant cycles of rabbit holes that are leading you nowhere. But I think that the whole purpose of controlled opposition is to give you the truth, like I said in that video that I posted today, because of the hope. They want those people who are going to ask questions to have a little bit of hope.
His wife was a Q-tard, and now she's just mean. And now she's just mean. Tom, real quick before you go off on that, I did want to say, Sierra, but isn't it necessary though? Aren't these levels and layers necessary for a gradual awakening?
I think so. I think it's all part of a greater plan. This whole thing is an experience for expansion. And I think, at the end of the day, the dark and the light work together. And so subconsciously, there's these ways for us to awaken and to allow this as an opportunity for our own soul growth and expansion. I think that we can get stuck here in this cycles of trying to figure it out. But I think there's always an opportunity for truth, and there's always an opportunity for us to learn more and expand our soul through these lessons.
Yeah. But, they do give you truth, but it's like they give you truth about stuff that doesn't matter, right? So like they're not giving you the real important truths that you need to know. Okay. They're not telling you. Is Joe Rogan, like, I don't pay attention to him. Is he talking? Did he tell you that Charlie Kirk assassination was fake, or does he think that's real?
I'm not exactly sure. He probably
he knows it's fake. He knows it's fake.
He knows it's fake.
Know it's fake.
I know that he knows it's fake. I know that he knows it's fake. I'm not really sure what he's talking about. I do know that people were making videos saying that he was caught lying because when it happened, he had Charlie Sheen on his show, and it was like they got the breaking news right then when he was interviewing with Charlie Sheen. And then there's other videos where he's telling people, oh, it was Theo Vaughn, because people were pissed off about how he handled the Theo Vaughn thing. And anyways, he told Theo Vaughn that he wasn't even, maybe it wasn't Theo Vaughn. I don't know. He told somebody else that he was hunting in fucking somewhere else when it happened. And it was like a dumb thing to even lie about. Like, why would you even lie about that? But here's the thing is, like, Tom, you say like, none of it is true. And I know how you feel about the Bible. And we've talked about this on this show, right? Like, and I believe that we need stepping stones for things and that they do reveal truths. But like, how about this? How about sprinkling some truth in, even if you think the Bible is a psyop, which I don't completely. And how about this?
This is how to eat a biblically clean diet. Step number 1, eat the animals with a split hoof that chew the cud. Leviticus 11, like the deer, the goat, the cow. These are going to be the most copper, iron dense foods on the planet. Beef liver is actually the number 1 copper source on the planet. Beef liver is going to give your body every mineral that it needs for the day. Beef liver equals nature's multivitamin, and they were telling you the whole time without telling you in the Bible. A lot of this is in the Quran as well. Want to avoid eating swine or pork because it causes excess yeast, mold, and candida to grow inside of our guts. No matter how much we cook the pork, those critters are still going to be stuck in that meat because pigs don't sweat, which is why we're told not to eat them. They can't get rid of the toxins. They get stored up and built up. But we know the clean land animals. What are the clean fish? Only eat the fish that have the fins and the scales. These fish are going to have the least amount of critters living inside them as well. So fish like tuna and salmon, they fit that criteria. We basically can't eat any kind of bottom feeders like the crabs, the lobsters, anything like that, because they're going to be full of bacteria that we don't want in our body. Mark 9:48. Actually, the Bible is more of a medical textbook / meal guide instruction manual that teaches us what to eat for perfect health and how to fix every mineral deficiency and how to eat clean food. Now remember, in that day, he will also eat the honey and the curds. And the curds equals the yogurt, the kefir, even the butter that comes from the cow, the goat milk, etc. But remember, you always want to separate the meat from the dairy by at least really 3 to 4 hours, if not an entire day. Because if you try to mix these two foods, you're going to cause gut dysbiosis, indigestion, bloating, because you really can't mix the two. You don't want to mix meat and whey products. But this is also why we ended up making y'all the Health Bible. Everything that you need to know is going to be available at jacobslink.com. Just hit the link in the bio. jacobslink.com.
Okay, in the comments, your friend said that pigs actually sweat the toxins out through between their toes. And you know what I immediately thought when I read that is like,
human toes.
Is that why they targeted pigs' feet to the black communities?
Oh, wow.
Ah,
That's interesting.
maybe they hate the blacks. I mean, they black shame. That's why there's always like, it's, you know what I mean? Like O.J. Simpson's black. This shit. They black shame. George Floyd black. They
don't like melanin.
Psyops. They don't like that. They don't like that. Right. Correct. Yeah. But like this food thing, yeah, dude, there's a lot of truth in the Bible. 100%. There's a lot of truth, but they're still not telling the truth. So because they're telling you that not to eat pigs because the pigs are dirty, which are true, but they're not telling you that pigs are like humans. They're not telling you the truth. So it's still a fucking book containing you. It's a book of disinformation. The book is there to lead you astray. There is truth planted in it, but they're not being honest with us, man. They're just fucking not. That's the best way I can say it. They're not being honest. They're not being straightforward with us. And Joe Rogan, if he's talking about politics, right, he'll tell you a truth. Like he'll tell you communism is bad. That is true. But then he doesn't tell you that politics is all fake. That's the shit people need to know. They are not talking about the shit that people need to know.
How many smart people do you know in your life who are so wrapped up into politics. And I sent a meme to somebody who he is just so hardcore Republican. Like, I love the guy. Other than that, like, he just is so hardcore Republican and thinks that we can vote our way out of this. And I told him, I was like, it's so hard for me to take you seriously. Like, just imagine you having a conversation with somebody that like believed the pro wrestling and was like talking to you like the script in pro wrestling really fucking mattered and their life depended on it. Like, that's how it is for me having a conversation with you. It's like politics is pro wrestling for people that think they're smart.
Yeah, and it's just another system that keeps us distracted and divided, just like religion, just like Hollywood. They're all just systems. There are context systems of this reality that
Just
keep
like
us distracted and
fucking
divided.
sports, just like TV shows. Like,
Oh,
back in the day, they used to have TV shows to where there was only a handful of channels. So we were all collectively involved in the spell at one time. And then we would go to school the next day and we would talk about what happened during 90210 the night before, because like everybody fucking watched it and you weren't a cool kid if you didn't. And they had it purposely on a school night that was, we had school the next day so that we would go to school the next day and talk about it, you know. And if like Dylan was wearing a certain pair of Nikes or so-and-so was wearing a fucking certain parka, like, you could guarantee the next week at school, you would see kids fucking wearing this shit. And I don't know where the fuck I was going with that.
Well, to my point, though, these guys that come on Joe Rogan, right? They come on, who are some of the guys that have been on the show? And are they telling you that religion's all fake? They're not talking about that, are they? No, they're not talking about it. Are they talking about non-humans that run the world? No, they're not talking about the shit that people need to know. So
right, but not everybody knows this shit, right? So everybody, I'm not talking about religion being fake. Like, of course, I think the institutionalized religions are fake, but I also think that the Bible is a gateway drug that is gate kept to certain esoteric knowledge that we need.
He wrote, clip it.
Damn it. That's all right. Hopefully the AI program that I use will know. And here's the thing is, we can clip everything all fucking day long, but as long as I'm working 10 hours a day trying to run 3 shows, I'm lucky to get 1 clip per episode.
So this is the perfect lean in. Anybody that's watching this, we're looking for someone that enjoys the show, that might want to help us out and clip some videos if possible. And, could possibly turn into a paying job. But for right now, it would be for fun. So if anybody's good at videos and you'd like to help us out and you like the show and you want to support us, we'd appreciate that.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Fucking trying to clip all those things for 3 shows, book guests, it's a lot of work. So for anybody out there that wants to start a podcast, I highly encourage you to do so, because the more voices we have, the better. Just know it's a lot more work than just getting behind a microphone and showing up and being like, all right, cool. Like, running it, there's a lot of fucking work. So anyways, I got more videos that I wanted to get into. So we were able to knock out the Hunter S. Thompson video. In the last video, they were talking about eating correctly. And he was like, these fish are good. And I wanted to say, well, Tom thinks that everything is fucking fake and gay. And there's a certain fish that I'm not even sure if it exists, but I learned something new about this fish that might be common knowledge to other people, but I just thought it was interesting, so I clipped it. This is not conspiracy based or anything. I just thought it was very interesting, and we could tie it into the unknown.
This anglerfish has a secret. It is not hunting alone. Somewhere on her body, attached permanently to her skin, is a male anglerfish. The male is a fraction of her size. He bites into her flesh. Their blood supplies merge. His eyes go first, then his organs. He does not die. He becomes part of her. She can carry up to 8 males at once, each fused, each permanent. Even the light she hunts with is not her own. The lure is powered by bioluminescent bacteria living inside it, a separate organism, another partnership she cannot survive without. The anglerfish is not one creature. It is several, each dependent on the others, each serving the same purpose: survival. The deep ocean is the least understood place on Earth. Down here, nothing is quite as it seems.
Or is it at all? Because I've never been in a fucking Atari controller driven submarine that imploded like what was that, 3 years ago? I've never been in a submarine and witnessed these fucking things out the little window for myself. I don't even know if they exist. But how fucking cool was that shit, dude? Like that's more badass for females. Like I know a lot of females like will hold up the fucking Black Widow as like the most badass. She's badass, dude. She fucks them and then she eats them. Like fuck those guys, dude. The anglerfish is like on a whole nother level, dude.
She
It's like,
absorbs them and uses their power. It does, but you know, that fish also made me think about the previous video with the eating. And a lot of our problems come from parasites, which I think are kind of like an embodiment of archons or demons or the darkness of this world, whatever you want to call it. And they siphon the energy out of something. They siphon and they steal the life force out of something else. So we have these foods that they're feeding us that are full of these parasites, these embodiments of these demons or these archons or whatever, and they're in our bodies and they're feeding on our life force. And then we have energetic archons or demons or whatever that are feeding on our life force, on our loosh. And so you have to focus on detoxing your body as well as detoxing your energetic field, because there's parasites on both levels. And watching what you eat and, you know, detoxing those things out of you, as well as meditating and getting right with yourself within, are great ways to detox of those parasites that are a part of this archontic system. So it just reminded me, seeing her absorb that and like living, you know, in symbiosis with it is just like these parasites that we also have that are both physical and energetic.
I totally can jump in here because, as we pointed out earlier, that it's very possible that they targeted pig's feet to the Black community because that's where they sweat the toxins out of. Another thing that comes from the Black community, and I know this because I was born in Oakland, and I'm also an E40 fan. And in one of his songs, he says, Black people think that castor oil will cure everything. And so
you said
it. And so we get to segue right into this fucking video.
A spoonful of castor oil for parasites. Remember that we were all detoxing back in the day, and this is why Grandma was giving us some of that good castor oil to go ahead and get rid of those worms and critters that everybody's got. Now, I recommend doing this before you go to bed, more so before you start the day, unless you got nothing to do. Start with a small amount and work your way up. You can go and take 2 tablespoons. I don't recommend starting off with 2 tablespoons. It's just like the olive oil and the coconut oil, work your way up. But before you focus on the castor oil, I want you to focus in on doing the key lime every morning with the salt, the cayenne, and the coconut or the olive oil. Put all these ingredients. You can add the castor oil, but I'd recommend just avoiding the castor oil for now. Master the Master's Cleanse, put that away. Master the Master's Cleanse and the key lime, because this basically helps to bind and stimulate that bile more than anything else. So if you're trying to get rid of that excess that's around the organs, or you're just trying to detox, this is the Master's Cleanse. It's the #1 cleanse in the world. So get everything you need to get started on this program. Get healthy, wealthy, and wise, and everything you need, along with the health Bible.
All right, so I do the first thing that the other thing he was talking about. I have not graduated to the castor oil yet. I do remember my daughter had 2 false flags when we thought she was coming into this realm. And after the second time driving home from the hospital, them sending us home, I was like, all right, you're going to drink this. And I gave her freaking like cup of castor oil, and she drank it, and 3 hours later she was in full-on labor.
Castor oil is like liquid gold, and it can be used for a bunch of different things. Like I told you guys, I was making like sleep spray and stuff. I use castor oil in everything, and if you put patches of it on your stomach, it can also help you pass parasites.
In the belly button, right? Put
Yep,
it
right over your belly button. You can get like patches that are stickers, and then it's got the cotton center, and you just pour a little castor oil. I have a bunch of them. But Q Bertimo says that oregano oil is the shit that hits, isn't it? And oregano oil is really, really amazing as well. I give my son or myself oregano oil if we feel any sort of yuck coming on, and it's the most disgusting thing you could possibly imagine, and it is like so powerful and painful, but it really gets that job done. So yes, for sure.
Yeah, if somebody didn't know better and like the things that I'm into, and they went into my kitchen, they would think that I first off don't have any food and I'm a warlock or something, because I have so many different herbs and spices and shit. And I have a shot glass, and it looks so nasty because the ground cayenne pepper like forms to the side of it. And I only like, I'll throw it out like once a week for a new one. But yeah, like I have what is the oil? I have, damn it, a rosemary oil that I use strictly for my hair. Like I rub it on my scalp. And then I have the olive oil that I use with the freaking key lime juice, with the cayenne pepper, with some freaking turmeric powder. And I take a shot of that every single morning before I go to work, along with 2 pills of cell saviors, which is, if you take the cell saviors for 3 days, it basically puts you at baseline, and it gets rid of all of the freaking parasites. Like I took a picture because I fucking pissed out a parasite, and 99% of parasites aren't visible by the naked eye, but I saw this motherfucker and I was like, oh hell no, that came out of my dick. What the fuck is going on?
Damn.
I really do want to get start trying that cell saviors though. I know you've mentioned them a couple times. I want to give them a shot too. Get some of these parasites out of me.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely hook you guys up with some of the shit that I was just talking about. Shit. So where was I gonna go? Since we're on healthy habits, I have a video named Healthy Habits, and it's only 26 seconds long.
One of the healthiest habits you could practice is to not take anything personal. The second you realize most people are at war with themselves and not you, the door to freedom opens up. The things people say and the things people do are often a reflection of themselves, not you. Remember that next time someone's being a dick.
I fucking love that song. The X intro or outro song. It's the shit. What's funny is in my recovery group, there's every night it's involuntary share. So you have to speak whether you're in a bad mood or not. But they'll also call on somebody to take us out in prayer. And there's one guy who is definitely not Christian, because he ends his prayer every single time he's called on. I love it because he ends his prayer and he's like, and please help us to not be a dick.
That's cute. I love that. Yeah, I mean, energy is important. If you're allowing people to steal your energy by giving a damn what they think, then you're just freely giving your power away to those people. And that's why, I think they make it such a big, like, they make us all very self-conscious about ourselves. You're never going to look good enough. You're never going to be smart or athletic enough or wealthy enough. And so they make us all just really self-conscious about ourselves. And then they sell us, these different ways to love yourself more and feel better about yourself. But really, if we just all stopped giving a shit what anyone thought about us, we would not only stand in our own power and authority, but we wouldn't have to spend money on all of these different solutions to look better and to feel better, we would just be in our own authority and our own power. But they intentionally make us very self-conscious and fragment our souls by making us feel like we're just worthless nothings, little meat bags that need to always be improving your looks and your money and your success. So if we just all stop giving a shit about what people thought and about this system, then the whole thing would kind of come crumbling down, because they depend on our energy.
Did any of you guys either experience culture shock too? Like growing up, I went from one area, and the culture in that area was, I went from Oakland, California to the fucking woods, like on the outskirts of Tahoe, like a very fucking small town in like Hicksville, where there was one black person in my high school. So I went from like one of the only white people to one black person in the entire fucking school. And so I was a wigger, is what I was referred to mostly, until they like learned that I was cool as fuck and a skater. But yeah, it was fucking absolute culture shock. So it was like one of those things too, where my identity was questioned at a young age. It was like, oh shit, like I don't have a foundation in who I thought I was.
Yeah, and it's important to also I agree with Sierra, what she's saying about they want everybody to be self-conscious and all that. Absolutely, feel inferior and all that. But, it's also like, you run into someone throughout the course of the day, and maybe they're rude to you, or they don't treat you right. And we take that personal too, right? But all that's going on is that person's having a bad day, right? Their bullshit now spilled over onto you, and now maybe you feel rejected or something of the sort, only because that person's having a bad day and wasn't able to contain their shit. So then you're taking on that kind of thing and making that personal, right? And then maybe it happens to you a second time or a third time that day. Now you're like, well, what the fuck, right? And now your vibration kind of is almost at the same level as these people that treated you like that. So
attracting it and projecting it. Yeah, it's like an endless cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we and I agree with both of you guys 1000%. Last week we were on the verge of, I was like, should we listen to or watch this video or Grand Architect? And we did not go with Grand Architect. Fuck, we're still on. Let's stay on health since my bad, you guys. I'm gonna keep this going on health for just a second, and then we'll get more into some spiritual shit.
So I'm literally at Tractor Supply right now getting my bunny some hay. And it's always funny to me that when they market things for animals, they can actually be honest. Let me give you some examples. MSM powder, super good for joints. Sulfur, you need it for your joints, really good for detoxification, whole bunch of stuff. Joints, MSM, you're not gonna see it marketed as a joint supplement on Amazon. This one's super interesting. All right, ladies with PMS, irritability, mood swings, perimenopause, big old bag of raspberry leaf. And they say, end the nightmare with Mare Magic to help influence quiet disposition in mares. Yeah, helps your hormones. Raspberry leaf. Oh, and this one, are you stressing? Make sure to take your freaking electrolytes. This one's on sale, I'm taking it. And you want healthy skin and hair? Right there. Make sure to get your omegas and fatty acids. You want healthy nails? Take yourself some biotin. Are your tendons and ligaments giving you trouble? Go ahead and take you some menthol, iodine, and absinthium oil. If you know, you know. Yeah, we can be honest when it comes to animals, but you can't make claims when it comes to humans. I'm Britton Simon, Science and Natural Remedies. Stay healthy, follow my page.
So if you guys need to get healthy, make sure you go to Tractor Supply.
Yeah, well, Down here, for me to get raw milk, I got to go to a pet store.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I asked somebody at the farmers. I asked somebody at the farmers market, like who their dealer was, and they were like, I haven't even gotten any raw milk. Fuck.
Well, here's the problem, though, and this guy, we must be on the same wavelength. The problem is, they're poisoning all the animals too. They're poisoning the dogs and the cats. If you guys noticed around 2020, all the cats and the dogs started dying too. Like I remember on Facebook every day somebody's dog died or someone's cat died. So
yeah, they said that the animals could carry COVID.
Yeah, but more than that, like the animals go in for their, what do they have? They've got their shots.
Yeah.
Right, but what are they eating too? Like your dog should only be eating like beef, honestly. Like these kibbles and shit like that. My dog doesn't know what the fuck that is. My dog doesn't eat that. I have people all the time like, can I give your dog a treat? No, you cannot.
Well, that's good that you feed them well, but it's like people think that they're taking their care of their pet by they're getting their regular shots, and those shots are killing their pets. So I see this and I'm like, okay, well, these products might be a little healthier than our products, but Zymermectin, right, or whatever, right? So like that stuff's going to get tampered with. It's going to get bastardized, unfortunately.
Well, here's the thing: is everything does, right? And we don't know for sure. And here's the thing too: is peptides, right? Peptides is a thing that a lot of people in the truth community are putting their trust in, which is very bad because now they're able to hide these things into these peptides, and people are injecting themselves with the shit that they were so against and loud and vocal about. So it's like, what can we really trust, And I know you guys are aware of the fact that I'm involved with a group that's been taking soil samples, and what is it? Arsenic? No, not arsenic. I know the aluminum is ridiculous, but there's another metal that is just every single week, it's damn near doubling, right? So that is another reason why not only our people, but our animals are getting sick, is because we can't escape this shit. And so the best thing that we can do is, like, hopefully some of these videos I'm showing you, like, yeah, the shit you get at Tractor Supply is going to be tainted, but at the same time, you're going to be getting a little bit of what's helping you out. Yeah, the freaking lettuce and vegetables and stuff that you buy at the grocery store, even if it's labeled organic, you're getting some fucked up shit. I mean, bananas aren't even real bananas. So
they're not.
We're getting fucked up shit no matter what. You know what I did the other day is the landlord was gonna fucking mow the lawn, and I saw him like getting all the shit out. And so I ran and I grabbed up all of the dandelions, like the leaves and the buds, because you can do so much with that stuff. And that night I took the dandelion leaves, and of course I cleaned them and everything. And then I took and I sauteed them in tallow with mushrooms and garlic, and they were fucking amazing.
Dandelion's great for your heart, which is why Monsanto owns Roundup and Bayer. So they spray all of the dandelions with Roundup, and then they sell you a heart medication when you could just be eating the natural dandelion root and having an incredibly healthy heart. But, then you go out and you pick dandelions, and it's like, what have they been sprayed with? What's been in the sky? What's currently in the soil? So they really got us cornered from all fronts, which is why our energy and our awareness is so important. Because I think, they can do whatever the hell they want to us. This is my opinion. I think they can do whatever they want to us. And there's a reason why they have to attack us on all fronts. And it's because our awareness trumps everything that they do. Trumps. They
gotta get us somewhere, right? It's like we got a fucking shield up and we're blocking these three things, but fuck, as we're holding our shield up, like something's gotta hit us from somewhere.
Yeah, they've got it down to a great system. They have it down to science, but they also have to attack us so consistently because of our power. We are fractals of God. If we just stand in our power as in the eternal beings that we are, this shit doesn't really work on us. Our awareness is so much more powerful than any of their stupid attacks that they have going, which is constant. And it's because they're so scared of us, and they have to consistently work at keeping us down, keeping us sick, divided, and stupid, because they're afraid of what would happen if we were standing in our own sovereignty. If we were living harmoniously with the earth, we wouldn't even need to be eating nearly as much as we do. So they have us eating 3 times a day, and then they're putting poison in that food, and then they're having us wash our poisoned fruit with poisoned water. If we just started fasting more and eating less, that in itself would make us healthier than just consuming all the time. But they have us constantly eating, so they're constantly poisoning us. But it's just a matter of us, again, getting back into our connection with source, our connection with God, which is within us. And if we can connect with that fully and stop being afraid of all of these things, then it doesn't really have the same power over us anymore.
Clip it. All right, so we can take this a few different directions. I'm not sure I want to get into the Grand Architect one just yet. My boy Ian went. I'm not sure if he's been tapped. I know he's been approached, but I don't think he is sold out. I don't think he's sold out. I think he's still like us, searching for the truth. He just happens to have a big fucking account. But he says we're cooked.
Bet you didn't see this. Just watch what happens in the comments.
We really are living in a cognitive Wild West.
We really are living in a cognitive Wild West.
Living in a cognitive Wild West.
A cognitive Wild
West. Most people have near zero mimetic defenses or cognitive security suited for the age of synthetic media.
Near zero mimetic defenses
or cognitive security suited for the age of synthetic media.
The age of synthetic media.
The age of synthetic media.
Synthetic media.
Whatever immunity you have is worn down by the constant expectation of deception.
Whatever immunity you have is
worn down by the
constant expectation
of deception.
The constant expectation of deception.
Worst of all,
you've already epistemically surrendered. You've already
epistemically
surrendered.
Worst of all, you've already epistemically surrendered.
Worst of all, you've already epistemically surrendered.
Is that real? Is
It's
that real?
all fake and gay. Yes, dude, that's real. So
Yeah,
all
but
of
all those people
Literally
saying
robots.
they're AI.
They're literally robots.
well, I'm not so sure that I'm not so sure. I was always on the side that fucking Mark Zuckerberg is not a real person.
No.
Oh, he's definitely
You know,
not.
human? No.
Yeah, human. I'm leaning towards organic robotoid.
He looks like he lays eggs. There is something so creepy about him. I don't know what it is, but he's for sure not a human.
Yeah. And like people are always like, well, what is he? What is he? Like, I don't know. He could be one of like 20 different things. Like that could be a robot. That could be a cyborg. That could be a reptilian, you know, that could be a guy with a mask. That could be it could be so many things, you know.
I'm going to highlight this here because just like the news is exactly why I clipped this video, because I'm always telling people and people around me that say that they're awake, that are leaning on alternative media sources and think that they're getting a different, like they're getting an organic thought from somebody, and they're not. Those people are given a script just the same. And I love that Ian went and took the time to do exactly what they did with the news and COVID. And I remember the first one they did it with was talking about how their news source is local and how dangerous it is to get news from online wild conspiracy theories. And that was the very first one, and it was like 40 fucking news anchors saying the exact same thing. Well, here is your so-called alternative free thinkers telling you the exact same fucking script verbatim.
I just do want to say that I've watched that video very closely, and a lot of what they were saying was AI. You can see that the mouth is not moving, but that's, again, I think a part of that the whole point of that video is showing that they can make it look like someone is saying something that they didn't say, that a bunch of people are saying, you know, and that's, again, they're trying to get us to not know what to believe. We can't even believe our own eyes or what we hear. We have, you know, anything that we see on the internet at this point is just very much up in the air, whether it's legit or not. And that's what they want. They just want us to not be able to believe anything that we see anymore.
Well, that's the fucking problem, because that's what we opened up the show with, was this false flag where there's clearly AI being put out by the White House government official fucking paid websites. And so what the fuck isn't, right? And so I'm like, now I'm on the fence. Ian, you owe me an explanation. Did you fucking AI that shit, or did you clip that shit and it's fucking put out there as AI? Like, did Joe Rogan really have fucking Mark Zuckerberg on his podcast, or did they AI it? Because it wasn't that long ago where Joe Rogan was talking about it himself. And I watched a clip of this where there is a whole 2-3 hour podcast that never took place with him and some dead celebrity. And it sounds really good.
Wow.
Apparently. So like, what the fuck, dude? We can't believe anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of my message. And because the alternative is intuition, right? On the other side of all this is intuition at the end of the day. And that's where we need to really get to, because things are going to be even weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. But, you know, we don't need to get lost in that. Like, we just need to know that it's fake. Like we don't even know why it's fake or how they faked it. We just need to know, like, these guys aren't here. These aren't they're not here for our bet. We just need to know the gist of all this stuff. And when you only need to know the gist and you don't need all the details, then you can kind of, you know, just dim all that noise, right? You don't need all that anymore. So that's where we need people.
Here's the thing, Tom, and I agree with you 100%. But people are so frantically looking for a place to put their feet down, if that makes sense, right? And so intuition isn't something that people can see and tangibly touch and be like, I'm putting my feet down on. At least this is a foundation that I can stand on. Like, all this shit around me is fake and gay, but at the end of the day, I can stand right here on this wooden plank and know that it's real, and at least hold my foundation on something. And for you, that foundation is intuition. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit more, so that people that are frustrated and having a problem with this, because a lot of us as truth seekers and conspiracy enthusiasts go through really fucking dark times. And, you know, you can only find out that Santa Claus, so many different Santa Clauses that you held high in your life aren't real, like celebrities that you've loved your whole life. Oh, fuck. Okay. Now that's gone. This that you've cared about. And then it gets to the point where you start rubbing elbows with people that you're questioning if they're real. Like, it's difficult. So where do you lay your foundation at?
Well, you know, a common thing that people can touch on is, I think everybody's had a gut feeling, right? At some point, oh, I should have listened to my gut, or, oh, I had a hunch, right? Everybody, no matter how in or out of tune with their intuition is, can acknowledge one point in time where that happened, right? Where their gut told them something and they didn't listen to it, right? That's intuition. So everybody's got it, right? And everybody can hone it and cultivate it. And it's in your inner compass, it's your barometer. And, you know, you don't have to be right all the time. Like, this isn't about being right all the time. This is about trying to be right as much as possible. And it's not about getting everything right. You know, I don't get everything right.
Because here's the thing, is because these thoughts that we have, and we touched on this last week, is these thoughts that we have are not always 100% coming from us. And we have conflicting thoughts all the time. And so your intuition is the best thing that you can use, is because you need to be able to filter out your own lies.
Yeah, it's your heart. It's your heart. It's all right here. It's in the torso, and there's clues there, and you can feel it. And there's, when you think about certain things and you know something, you can go back and be like, oh, I felt like this when I felt this way when I knew that about that, right? And it's about, you know, seeing dishonesty and coming to terms with things and being okay that people aren't who you think they are, and that things aren't the way that you hope they were. It's a lot. It is heavy. It is heavy. But you know, you just got to go within. Everything's within.
Sierra, like at the end of the night when you've doom scrolled, you know, and you're laying down, you just tucked in your beautiful son and you have all this weight. What do you do to release it?
Yeah, it was really heavy, like you guys were saying, for me for a really long time. And it can be crippling at times. Knowing all these things can feel hopeless. But I think for me, really understanding that we are eternal and actually fully putting my faith into that, knowing that this is just a blip in our experience as a soul, as a consciousness, that in itself is very comforting to me, because then I know, okay, I know that I'm eternal. This life, I'm here, I'm going to experience it. How can I make the best of it? How can I leave this world a little bit better? How can I, make people's lives easier? How can I be kind and compassionate? And at the end of the day, whatever happens in this world is temporary, in the grand scheme of things. And it is extremely overwhelming, a constant barrage of psyops and illusions and poison and all of this stuff that just comes off as extremely wicked and evil. Our human consciousness cannot comprehend that level of evil, but that's what we're here to learn about, because we are innately unconditional love. So we come here, we learn about suffering, we learn about trauma, and again, it's just temporary. So I think the knowing, and I've had to really sit with myself to really fully know this and embody it as an eternal being, a reflection of God, there really isn't anything to fear. You can experience this entire reality to its fullest and know that it is just a brief moment in your existence as a consciousness. And so I sit with that a lot. I sit with the fact that we come down here divinely and everything is exactly as it should be, because I don't believe that the highest consciousness can necessarily make mistakes. We're not a mistake. Us being here is not a mistake. And so I feel like just as this experience, I'm going to lean into it, learn the lessons, and then it'll just be a temporary experience in the grand scheme of things as a consciousness.
Yep.
Clip it. I love it. So Tom, did you want to compound on that at all? No, that was pretty.
Really? Oh,
that was pretty fucking
everything
good.
that I would say. That was perfect.
So last week I did say I'm going to play one of their videos every single week, because I love the fact that they're using Family Guy to put the truth out there. So we're going to play that. And this is their Epstein take, even further than what we did last week. But can I hold you guys for 2 more videos, like the Epstein, and then can we do either Symbol of Life, Lucky 13, or a mystery video?
Yes. 2 more videos sounds great.
Okay. Tom, you pick Symbol Flower of Life, mystery video, or Lucky 13.
Let's go Flower of Life.
All right, here we go.
Forbidden City, China. They are guarded by these guys. Look really closely at what that paw is sitting on. Do you know what that is? That is knowledge that was guarded at all costs in every culture in the ancient world. To understand what this was, you had to go through a very intense process, training in many temples to become worthy of knowing. They guarded it so closely because learning it unlocks new pathways in the mind, a new way of seeing the world. They figured out a way to teach you everything you need to know about the universe using only a circle and a straight line. When you draw a bunch of circles and connect those lines, you can project it into 3D as this shape. It's the vector matrix. It's where our concept of the matrix comes from. Inside the circle is a tetrahedron, a three-sided pyramid. It's the simplest shape you can draw to triangulate any point within any circle. Now, if that matrix is a fabric of space-time, we can grab that fabric and twist it down to create a particle. This goes straight into the concept of the atom. The atom comes from the word atum in Egypt. Read that description. It's also the origin of ADM, atom, in Hebrew. So up here you can see the shape evolving into the icon that we know. That icon geometrically is the vector equilibrium. It's one of the most stable shapes because all lines and angles are exactly the same throughout the whole shape. That is an actual picture from IBM of an atom. Check out how closely all of those points hit on the electron clouds. Now the Bohr model makes a little bit more sense. If that wasn't weird enough, this knowledge goes smaller. That is a quantum carpet. They're used to visualize particle density and explain how waves become particles. Now all of these translate into complex math equations. If we mathematically map out the quantum carpet of a torus, we get that. Do you see a pattern here? In my last video, I showed you how the ancient Sumerians knew about this quantum wave interaction. So ancient Sumerians knew about this, ancient Chinese knew about this, ancient Hindus knew about this, Native Americans knew about this, ancient Egyptians knew about this, but you don't know about this. Do not worry, I wrote an entire book about it. It comes out in a couple days. It's the sequel to my last book, Codex.
All right, you're not selling your fucking book on my show. What I took away from that, which I thought was very interesting, is the wave patterns and how he lined them up, and you can make it into something tangible. And God spoke into existence. And sorry. And being somebody who has a music background and definitely engineering background when it comes to music, like I have spent countless fucking hours staring at wave files. And wouldn't that be fucking cool if you can tangibly make a song, like a sculpture, and somebody walks by and is like, that is the craziest fucking thing. It like tells a whole story and I don't even know what I'm looking at. And it's like, oh, that's my new song.
Yeah. And you could, I'm sure there's ways that you could translate the waves of music into something tangible. You know, you see, they attach something to like a mushroom, and then the waves from the mushroom, the energy from the mushroom creates music. And then you can see the waves on like what are those things called that creates the graphs?
You had me at mushrooms.
Yeah, do it right. Great little guys. But yeah, I think you totally could. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And I think that thoughts create words, which creates reality. So it totally makes sense, you know, as far as scripture saying that, I do agree that we could have been formed as a thought, and then the word was spoken and it created a reality, because I think our thoughts and our words and our actions combined is how we create reality. So yeah, everything is energy.
Yeah, I like the energy and reality that this podcast has been able to make all three of us quit our day jobs.
We need to align with that. Yeah, that's right.
And it is done.
It is done. Yes.
You got to be careful with the sacred geometry, though, because they present us the inverted version of all that stuff. So like the tree of life or whatever, like if you look at this sacred geometry and then you look at the inverted, it's hard to tell the difference, and they fuck you with that. So
if this was Princess Bride and we put the ibogaine in one of the couplets, which one are you drinking? Are you drinking one that's completely inverted? And let's say there's a gun to your head, like, which is the true one? You're taking the one that's inverted from the one that they say is the legit one? Or would you try to figure it out and draw it out yourself?
I wouldn't drink either one.
Then you're dead.
Like Sierra said, it's no big deal. It's like we have then do something else. You know, that's the other thing. Like everyone's real worried about all this stuff and like what's going to happen. At the end of the day, it probably doesn't even really fucking matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. You know, like you're going to get another life. Go fucking knock it out of the park. You don't have to come back here, right? It's scary. Like, who knows? We don't remember what it's like to be out there in the ethers, right? I don't remember. Do you guys remember?
No, this fucking guy stumps me every time. I'm like, ha, got you. Then you're dead. Well, that doesn't really matter because we just keep going. Ah, you fuck. You got me with the technicalities. That's like David Cross when he's like, I'm not Jewish, but then people were like, well, was your mother's vagina Jewish? And he's like, fuck, you got me with the technicalities. Sorry, that was I used to like David Cross. Anyways, let's take a look at this Epstein take, and even though it's 2 minutes and 23 seconds, it's very entertaining, so we'll get through it quickly.
The Epstein files dropped on January 30th, and within 1 week, 6 different countries suddenly announced cancer cures. That's not a coincidence.
January 30, 2026 Epstein files released. February 3-7, 2026 Spain, China, Cuba, Russia, Japan, and Australia all announced breakthrough cancer treatments at the exact same time. The U.S. withdrew from the WHO on January 22nd, and suddenly cures appear everywhere.
Wait, so for decades we had no cancer cures. Then the Epstein files exposed big pharma connections, and suddenly everyone has cures.
Bill Gates was named in the Epstein files. Gates has massive investments in pharmaceutical companies and WHO funding. Within days of his name being exposed, countries start announcing treatments the WHO allegedly suppressed.
So you're saying they were hiding cancer cures to protect pharmaceutical profits?
Look at the timing. Pancreatic cancer vaccine, 60 to 80% success rate in trials. Colorectal cancer immunotherapy breakthroughs. Russian mRNA cancer vaccine, all announced in a 7-day window after Epstein files drop.
But couldn't this just be coincidental timing with World Cancer Day on February 4th?
That's the cover story, but ask yourself, why did countries wait until after the U.S. left the WHO to announce these? Social media exploded saying America has been holding back development for years to please pharmaceutical giants.
So the WHO was the gatekeeper preventing cures from being released.
Gates funded the WHO. Gates is named in Epstein files, meeting with him multiple times. Gates has billions invested in big pharma. Now that he's exposed and the U.S. left WHO, suddenly the floodgates open with cancer breakthroughs.
You're connecting Epstein to cancer suppression through Bill Gates and the WHO?
The conspiracy theory writes itself. Keep people sick, sell them expensive treatments forever, make billions. Cure them once, you lose the customer. Epstein's blackmail kept this system protected.
So Epstein wasn't just trafficking, he was blackmailing people to maintain control over entire industries?
Within 1 week of files being released, pancreatic cancer breakthroughs, colon cancer treatments, lung metastases cures, HPV-related cancer vaccines, blood cancer therapies all simultaneously announced.
That timing is genuinely suspicious. Why all at once if these were in development for years?
Because the people protecting big pharma profits just got exposed in the Epstein files. Once their blackmail network collapsed, countries felt safe to finally release what they'd been sitting on.
So we could have cured cancer years ago, but it was suppressed to maintain pharmaceutical profits?
The most profitable patient is one who stays sick but never dies. Epstein's network made sure that system stayed protected. Until now.
This is the darkest thing I've ever...
Once again, there was a lot of truth in the video, but no, these countries don't feel safe. Oh yeah, we feel safe now. We're going to release these cures. Yes, there are cures to all these things. It's all fake. There's 100%, thousands of cures to all this stuff. But no, they're not. They're not releasing these cures. No, that's bullshit.
I just ate one of the cures. I just ate one of the cures I just told you guys about. I fucking sauteed it in tallow. With some mushrooms and garlic. That fucking dandelion, dude, is
right. Amazing. Those are the cures. Right.
Yeah, soursop tea. Yeah, those are the things I'll never tell you. And they took all of those plant powers and patented them, and then they, messed with them and created their own version of them. But they'll never be the actual plant power itself, the actual cure, which would be found within those properties within the plant. And there are so many cures. They know all the cures. They know a cure for every single thing out there. And every single thing out there that has a cure is something that was also created by them. They created the disease or whatever, and they created the cure.
The antidote is always there. Yeah. And how do you get this cure? You have to inject yourself with it.
Yeah, of course. And I know in the comments they were saying that it rearranges your DNA, and another reason is so that you're not human anymore. And once you're not human, then they can fully own you. Like, they control your birth certificate, but if you're not human anymore, then then you're completely not human. And that is the case with a lot of these people that took the vaccines. So, and unfortunately, we don't know where that goes. I'm holding you guys hostage for a little bit longer because I know that Tom will have a lot to say about this video, and I've been waiting for 2 weeks to play it.
13 is an unlucky number, we're told.
That's a satanic number.
Well, it's called an unlucky number because originally it dealt with Jesus and his 12. Jesus and the 12 make the 13, upon which a new order of life would be established on earth. The conspirators have then seized upon this term of the 13, Jesus plus the 12, and have begun to build on that a new world order. Why? An Egyptian pyramid is on an American dollar bill.
On the right-hand side of the dollar bill, there are 13 feathers in the wings. There are 13 stripes in the shield, 13 stars just above the eagle's head. And there are 13 cloudbursts around the 13 stars. On one side, there are 13 arrows. The other side, at the bottom, there are 13 leaves and 13 berries in the leaves. The pyramid on the left-hand side has 13 layers. Why is 13 so dominating the dollar bill? Because 13 is a very powerful, mystical number to secret societies. 13 is unlucky for you to use because it's a holy number.
The number 13 has been erased from everywhere. I think we all know that 13 counts as a bad luck number. For example, Friday the 13th. In some buildings there is no 13th floor. In some planes there is no row 13. Even hospitals sometimes avoid the room 13. We have 12 months, 12 hours, 12 zodiac signs, 12 disciples. Women have 13 menstrual cycles a year, not 12. We have 12 zodiac signs, while there is a 13th constellation in the sky, Ophiuchus, that was just cut up from the circle. The fruit of life consists of 13 circles, which is the predecessor of Metatron's cube, male and female energies combined. So since the Metatron's cube plays a very important role of the creation of the universe, you could basically see the fruit of life as the womb of the universe. Number 13 is also part of the Fibonacci sequence, which is a sequence of numbers that you can find throughout nature and the universe. To erase 13 is to erase the path into natural time, into the rhythms of the moon, into the rhythms of the body, the earth, the seasons. It is to erase the principle of renewal.
13 is not unlucky. They made you scared. Jesus has 12 disciples. He is the 13th. 1 plus 3 is 4. You have a fourfold nature, a mind, spirit, emotion, and body. This is why he has 4 gospels. Mark shows Jesus as a spiritual teacher. John shows Jesus as an emotional creature, water into wine. Matthew shows Jesus as a mental body, where he's intellectual and communicative. And Luke shows Jesus as a human being, where he does physical things for other people. 13 represents human consciousness. They have demonized it. That's why the word sacred is scared rearranged. They made you scared of all the sacred symbols. Water is emotion, air is the mind, earth is the body, and fire is the spirit. There are 4 seasons to the yearly cycle. 13 is not unlucky. It represents you, the fourfold nature. You are the 13th constellation. The Jesus cross is your body, the fourfold nature. You are the Son of God, you are the Christ, and you have 12 disciples, 12 zodiac energies which govern your life in physical existence.
Okay, Sierra, I apologize. That's the last video, I promise.
You're fine.
Oh, thank you. I haven't had a girl tell me that in so long.
No, I'm good. I'm chilling. I like that video. I like the number 13. I think it corresponds also with the divine feminine, but I'll let Tom go. Also, I'm an Ophiuchus. That 13 zodiac. That's me.
Keep running. Good.
Oh yeah, no, I think, yeah, of course. Like when it comes, like they're so big about numbers too. So if they're telling us that a number is unlucky and all this, there's that narrative of it being an unlucky number. It's inverted. It's the opposite. Everything that they do revolves around numbers and gematria. So never did I believe that Friday the 13th or anything was unlucky. It's just part of their inverted agenda.
Yeah, if they told you it was unlucky, then it wasn't. So it's as simple as that. But they do this with all these symbols, right? They do this with the swastika and all these things. They turn these into like symbols of hate, right? And they turn them, they bastardize all these things, and they do this, and 666 and all kinds of shit. Oh, is he signaling to us?
Yeah, I think he had a refresh or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I wanted to mention too with that, when we were talking about the mRNA shots, I think we spoke about this a little bit, but I think like with those vaccines and, you know, with the peptides and everything that people are injecting, I think that they're injecting things that are lowering them into their bottom chakras, so they're not able to like ascend and connect to source and have that channel to God, have that channel to source. So then again, they become programmable. That's part of the transhumanism agenda. So
Yeah. Once again, it's, you know, there's no shortcuts in life. And the problem is these people that are taking these things, they want a shortcut. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to go to bed on time. They don't want to eat healthy, you know, or maybe they do, and they want to be shredded. And it takes a lot more than just, you know, going to bed. You got to work out. You got to be diligent, right? But there's no shortcuts in life. There really aren't. And that's where they get you. They get you when you're trying to take a shortcut. Oh, hey, you're going this way? Here, let me take you. Hop in, kid.
yeah, they can pander to anybody because everyone has a desire to be healthier or to be better looking or to be skinnier, and so they can get you to really inject yourself with anything if they're coming from the right market. So they can sabotage any of those injections, and I'm sure they do, all of them.
Sorry about that, you guys. My audio cut out, and I was watching Tom's reaction to you talking, and I was like, okay, he can hear her, so I'll just jump out and jump back in. But so I didn't realize that women have 13 cycles in a year and not only 12, and that definitely solidifies the 13 months in a legit calendar too, because I mean, all we need to do is look within the human body. And so
and women's bodies are synced up with the moon. So if we were looking at lunar cycles, we would have 13 months.
That's why you guys are evil though, right? Because isn't the moon a depiction of the demiurge?
That might be why. I think you know,
I was just joking.
We also have Kali Ma and, you know, those templates and those archetypes within us as women. So we're a little fierce. But I also, you know, I learned that when we're oh my God, why can I not even think of the word? I took a couple edibles before this because my back was hurting again. So I'm like kind of spacing, but right before our period starts, we have the most testosterone in our bodies. So maybe that's why we're a little bit more feisty, huh, gentlemen? We're
interesting. You guys got roid rage right before your
yeah, exactly.
Every week they have a different stage. So, you know, it's a stage, a week. So totally different from men. I mean, we don't even really comprehend that. And well, I'll let Sierra talk about it. What am I doing explaining menstruation?
Yeah. I mean, I can't comprehend what it is to be a man. So that's why we complete each other's. We have strengths and things that we know, and you guys have strengths and things that you know. We're not supposed to know what it's like to be one or the other if we're not, at least not in this life. You know, I was probably a man in another life. We do have the energy, the divine masculine and feminine energies within us. But as far as our bodies, they definitely don't teach much about female anatomy in our public schools. They don't really go into that too much because the womb is divine. It's the portal between worlds. They don't want to touch too much on the feminine body because it is a magical thing. So they just won't.
Same with the male body as well too. And we have made it so normalized to use it's like use it or lose it type of thing when it comes to the male seed. And so we're pumping it out like there's no tomorrow, not realizing the power and potential of holding your seed.
Yeah, you guys could be practicing semen retention. And I think that's like for a more masculine thing because I think, you know, an orgasm between a man and a woman is different. And so if
a man and a man, I would hope so. Jesus.
Did I say that? Sorry, a man and a woman is different. They're different experiences.
No, you said a man and a man.
Oh, I did.
Or between a man and a woman is different. And I was like, what's the alternative between?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like, no, when we go solo bolo, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so and again, like that's why porn is free. It's because you're depleting yourself of that energy, which if you were retaining that energy, you would be extremely clear minded and probably be able to be more spiritually inclined and a little bit more in your power, but they want it depleted at all times, so you're busting it out to pixels on a screen and giving all of your energy to the void instead of to constructive things in your own life. And that's for men and women alike. That's in a world where they charge us for everything. Porn is free because it's an attack on our psyche.
Is it going into the void, or are they capturing it?
They're probably capturing it. The archons around you are like,
yeah, let me grab that. I'll take that load. Hold on, man.
Yeah, give me that lust. I love that low density.
Let me swallow that for you.
I'll take that load.
Yeah,
your
because
wife
you're
won't
like,
swallow. I'll swallow that shit.
you're extremely like drained, and if you end up watching porn, you're like drained, you feel disgusted. Well, at least I do, like completely disgusted with yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's like I don't mean drained like, oh, I feel good, like no, like you just feel like you ran a marathon and any aspirations you had on doing anything for the next 20 minutes are out the window.
Totally. Yeah.
Totally drained.
It's why we live in such a hypersexualized society. Porn is abundant because they know that it's an attack on our psyche that people can become addicted to. And then it's just a consistent release of that energy that you're feeding into the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when I was younger, like you could go and have sex like several times a day. Now it's like, if I blow 3 nuts, my balls hurt.
yes, for a
From,
week.
like, slapping my nuts off, like boom, 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 boom. Your ball sack like hundreds of times. Think about it. It's crazy.
And I thought it was the Jew talk that was going to get us kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that we should be doing on a regular basis because, it's creative energy. It creates life. When we're having sex with someone, it creates life if it comes to completion. So that energy itself is creative energy. If we're retaining it, then we're able to create. We are the co-creators. So we need to hone in on that creative energy within us. And I think that's the energy that goes up our spine, like a Kundalini awakening is that sexual energy travels up your spine and it goes to the 33rd vertebrae, and Yeshua was 33 when he was resurrected or ascended, and it was maybe that fluid going up his spine.
And sex magic too, when you and your partner both put and focus your whatever it is, your intuition you're putting towards, you're focused on, and then that moment of climax, the sexual ritual is one of the most intense magic rituals you can do, next to murder and sacrifice.
Yeah, 100%. Sex magic is very, very real.
So if you have a cool ass partner and you're not afraid to dabble in some shit like that, you guys could like put your focus on something really good for the two of you.
Yeah, set an intention and then
that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree. That's the way to do it.
Awesome. So let's go around the horn. Fucking great episode tonight, you guys. I thought that was awesome. I actually put off White Rabbit and Ungoverned Outlaws for a little bit because, as we talked about earlier, like sometimes we go into dark places and I just like to fuck everything off for a while and go within and then come back a new person. And I was like, I'm not doing podcasts for a while, but I love this fucking show. And so I didn't cancel it. And thank you guys. So
thanks for not canceling. No, I appreciate that. And I understand what you're saying though. So
totally. Yeah. And feel free. I mean, whenever we need a break, we need a break. So I'm really glad that we were able to do it tonight. Though it's been super fun as always.
Oh yeah. Tonight was like fucking therapy for me. Definitely get more out of these than when I was a kid and my mom used to make me go talk to some fucking stranger.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's like what I would like. I want everybody to feel that way, right? Like the people in the comments here, and thank you once again, all these people in the comments section. Justin, thank you, man, for all your feedback. Gabriel, you know, I think some of these are, I don't even know these. We don't even know who some of these people are because they've got these names, right? Like,
yeah, we don't know everybody, but we definitely appreciate it. We got people coming in from all over. I had comments from X, from Rumble, from YouTube. So we're just like these evil motherfuckers. We're trying to hit you in every direction we can so that
you will see our podcast.
yes. And I've been putting these out in the audio version too. And I know I said this last week, but it appears that people really like the audio version too. And if you guys are just listening to this, we are live on all those places that I just mentioned, but please come and support the YouTube channel. That is the best way to support us at the moment, is to go and support the YouTube channel. And we're hoping to get enough supporters on YouTube that we can retire Tom and Sierra. And then with my other content that I do, I'm hoping to eventually be able to retire myself and just fully focus on giving you guys amazing content, because I love doing it. And we are done feeding our energy and focus to this fucking bullshit system. So we'd rather point it and mock it and laugh at it with you guys. So Tom, you were able to get on a show. Tell us about that. I already forgot the name of it. My bad.
Oh, Eye to Eye. They're every Tuesday night on YouTube. Gematria guys, symbolism guys, really good stuff. Rambo, and there's another guy, Decoding Cody, and then AJ, my friend Ball Don't Lie. So yeah, they had me jump on there at the end. So it was good chatting with these guys, and you know, seeing through their lens, right? And it's like, wow, it's like, holy shit, this stuff is way deeper, way more complex, and just insane. Like, because you just can't have all these things be a coincidence. Even the names, like the shooter,
McGavin.
No, like this new shooter, like
Cole Allen.
Cole Allen Thomas, and like he, it's all tied in. Allen with the Van Allen belt, with Van Halen. This is how intertwined all this shit is. Like, and you'd be like, on the moon! I thought that was somebody. I'm like, what is that? But this shit is all intertwined, like the Van Allen belt, and what NASA's doing with Artemis, and this, and like stuff that you wouldn't even think. Like Michael Jordan, his name is, it has to do with Jordan, the River Jordan. Like, none of this stuff is what you think it is, and it's awesome stuff.
One of the company owners saw yesterday at work, I was wearing the NASA logo and it says lies. And one of the company owners was doing a walkthrough, and he called me over to him, and he was all, so what do you think about the new moon landing though? That one happened, right? And I was all, no, bro. Sorry. He's all, you don't even think that the one we just did, we don't have the technology to do it now? And I just kept walking. I just walked away shaking my head. It's like, I'm not even entertaining this conversation.
They have the technology. That people have been to the moon. Like, there's activity going on the moon. We haven't been to the moon. Humans have not been to the moon.
I don't even think it's
except for when we die.
I don't
they
think
take our soul there. Our souls have been to the moon.
Yeah, maybe. If you're talking like some sort of a plasma or a portal or something, I'm on board with you. But like, as far as people stepping foot on the moon and jumping around and driving a golf cart, it didn't happen. And no. It never will. It never will happen.
Correct.
All right. Well, like you guys heard me say, I haven't really done anything in a while. So even the audio, like all I've been putting out is the Trinity of Truth. As far as this Friday goes, I do not have anything lined up for Ungoverned Outlaws. I will get back to you guys on Ungoverned Outlaws as soon as I do some thinking about that show and how to make it better. But as far as White Rabbit goes, I'm back full in the mix. As soon as we wrap up tonight, I'm back in the mix. And then tomorrow, I think tomorrow night, I will be on the Cult of Conspiracy with their new co-host, Mrs. Raven, who I have not been able to meet yet, even though she's in some of my group chats. and Jonathan, former co-host of the Cult of Conspiracy, who is now co-host of the Metamystics, will be joining the Trinity of Truth. I have a date for that as well. So guys, we are looking to get more guests on this show. If you are interested in being on the Trinity of Truth, please shoot me, Tom, or Sierra a message. I tend to get back to everybody within a week. If you're not a friend of mine, I try to check those and get back to the requests at least once a week. So that is all I have to say. Anybody else have anything to add before we jump the fuck up out of here?
We have a guest next week. Hot Mom Fits, I think is her handle from Instagram. Hot Mom Fits. So we have a guest next week.
Awesome. Hopefully Hot Mom fits right in with us and we have an awesome conversation. Sierra crushed it as always. Tom always crushed it. I think that you were saying, Tom, like the level look, oh my gosh, like even though we have to look down certain levels, like there's also lateral level looks. And so we might be awakened in certain areas more than the others, but I think that this whole process is very important. And I think all three of us bring that to the table in every episode. So with that, let's get the fuck up out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye, guys. So fun.
See you guys. Thanks for coming.
Trinity of truth. The call is proof. The strange, the weird, the odd, the real. Tom Zames, Divinely Sierra, and Catalyst Jones.
Trinity of truth.